clear.
Are you sure this is okay?
Raiding the kitchen in the club? Sure, I'm sure. Even if my dad's right and never owed me the truth, there's a reasonable argument to be made that he owes me food.
We ate pretty well last night.
Nah, we need staples, you know. I mean bread, cheese, cold cuts, fruit. You know. Now since Ruby cut off the handout since Dad got to her.
She doesn't want you to starve. She just wants you to go home.
I'm not blaming her, but I'm not going back. So since I doubt there's enough food in your grandmother's fridge to keep us going... So are you still going to see her?
Graham?
Yeah.
I don't want to give her a hard attack worrying about me. Besides, if I don't, she could do something crazy like sick the FBI on us. Or my mother.
Well, that's the last thing I know my dad would do.
Audrey!
Oh, thank God.
Oh, I know. It seems like I've been away forever. I've missed everyone so
Frankly,
much.
I don't know what you've been thinking, but it was none of my business until my granddaughter got involved.
Excuse me?
I'd like to know what you're going to do about this situation, which you must agree is intolerable, because if you don't have a better idea, my next stop is the police station, whether Luke approves or not.
Wait a minute. When Lucky came to visit, about every third sentence was about Sarah. Did she and Lucky get in some trouble at school?
Laura, you don't have any idea.
No, I don't. Fill me in, please. What about the police?
Luke didn't tell you?
No, I just walked in the door. I haven't even seen him yet.
Well, I know you haven't seen your son.
Audrey, you're starting to scare me.
Well, what did Luke say when you asked how Lucky was? He got a C in math, but I'm on top of it, don't worry.
Well, obviously you have an opinion, so what should he have said?
That your son ran away from home and took my Elizabeth with him.
What?
Mm-hmm.
Well, obviously, I'm a little alarmed to hear this. Wait a minute. Now, look, if something happened today or last night, I mean, that hardly makes someone a runaway.
Laura, it's been weeks. Months, even. Lucky was sleeping on the floor in Elizabeth's bedroom for I don't know how long, and once I found out, I tried to put a stop to it, but Elizabeth packed up and left too. Now, your husband may think it's some charming rite of passage for two teenagers of the opposite sex to live out of dumpsters or panhandle on the street or God knows what, but I'm not going to sit around and do nothing. I want my granddaughter home.
What made Lucky leave? Do you know that?
Well, there was some argument between him and his father. I really never knew the details. Laura, I'm sorry you had to find out this way, but did Luke think that once you walked through the door that he could keep you from noticing that your son was gone?
Could you please give me this afternoon to get my bearings straight? You're right. Something has to be done. But before I can decide what, I need to hear this from my husband.
You know where to reach me. I guess I didn't say welcome home. But it's a little late now, isn't it?
Leslie Lou, come on, sweetie. We're going to see Aunt Ruby right now.
Lucky!
Wow.
Lucky. Thank God you have no idea the things that were running through my mind. I mean, why on earth would Audrey Hardy tell me that you were...
Well, why are you here?
Why am I here?
Yeah.
I came home. What's the matter?
Oh, did someone send up a flare? You answering an SOS?
It was just time to come home, that's all. I hopped on a plane with your sister. Why so many questions?
Oh, you were saying about Mrs. Hardy?
Yeah, well, you know, here you are, looking the same as you always do, except maybe half a foot taller. Wow. And you're hanging out here at your father's club the way you always do, and I mean, why on earth would Audrey Hardy tell me that you had taken to the streets with her granddaughter, one you don't even like?
Her name's Elizabeth, and I like her fine. You haven't had a chance to get together with Dad, have you?
Lucky, what Audrey's saying isn't true, is it?
I didn't think he'd tell you. I was pretty sure. I did start to wonder, though, after the first few weeks what you guys would talk about. What he'd say when you asked about me, but, I guess that's the secret of your success. You don't really tell each other much of anything, which is okay with me. In fact, I'm glad Dad never told you about Nicholas being shot.
What?
Well, because when you came back, I wanted it to be because of us, not him. Seemed important at the time.
Nicholas was shot?
Yeah. Right here, in the parking lot. It's a drive-by thing, those things happen. He got a bullet right in the neck.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, I know, for a long time he couldn't speak. But, this was before Christmas. He's talking fine now, but I can vouch for that.
Before Christmas?
Yeah, it's a pretty big thing to keep secret, I know. We were surprised that we were able to. But to be fair to me and Dad, it's not as big as the fact that Nicholas exists. You kept that a lot longer.
And, you're looking at me the same way you did then. Why, Lucky? Why are you so angry?
I used to want you to ask me that. So bad. And I wanted you to hear the answer. I don't anymore.
No, don't you walk out on me. Tell me. What have I done that's so terrible?
You married him.
Who?
How many men are you married to, Mom?
Your father? This is about your father? What, okay, the two of you had some kind of an argument about? Oh, come on, Lucky. Wishing that I had never married your father is like wishing you were never born.
No kidding. Now, look, you can say we got into a fight. Personally, I don't really know what it was. It was more like we were knights of the round table defending a lady's honor and then just gave up. I guess all little boys, when they're young, they think their mom's the most beautiful woman in the world. And I thought that. But now it just, it hurts too much to look at you.
Yeah, I can see that. I don't understand why.
Okay. Tell me the truth about something.
Of course.
No, not of course. It doesn't go without saying.
Yes, all right, I'll tell you the truth.
If I was anyone else, any other man, would you be afraid to be alone with me right now here in this room? Or would it be something else to you? Would you find it exciting?
My God, Lucky,
No,
what are you...
You said you'd tell the truth. Or how about this? What did you think? What flashed through your head when Dad told you he was going to open another club? Did you say, fine, Luke, darling, whatever you want, and think, I'm never going to set foot in it, not after the campus disco? No. Obviously not. I don't know, maybe you... I guess you found it romantic. Kind of like reliving your first date. Like your very own memorial of what he did to you.
What did your father tell you?
Nothing I didn't already know by then.
The campus disco. How did that come up?
Because it's where he raped you, Mom. Is that when you fell in love with him? Because you told me it was love at first sight. So what did you mean? Did you mean that when the song was playing, the lights were going, he had you pinned down?
I don't deserve to be ambushed.
I heard it. Too many times, No, I know. I'm too young, right? I'm too simple-minded. You were a tease, Dad was a drunk, right? And he thought he was going to die.
Oh, stop it, please, stop. God. My God, one incident, before you were even born. You want to judge me and my marriage based on that? You want to sum up my entire history with your father in one ugly, loaded word?
A word you can't seem to bring yourself to say. Why not? You used to be able to. I'm just calling what you told the police it was. Because you didn't tell them it was complicated, or okay with you, or love at first sight, so when did this become the official version?
You know what? I don't deserve this. I don't deserve this! This is my life. I lived it, and nobody else has the right to say what it looked like, or what it was, or what it felt like, except me. It's my right. It's my right to judge. My God. You know, everybody thinks they know what love is. Or what a kiss is. You know, but does it really feel the same way or mean the same thing to any two different people? Look, when it comes down to what happens between a man and a woman, does naming it really make you understand it?
I understand it because I've seen it. I've seen rape close up, Mom. And what it did to Elizabeth Weber. How it changed her. It made her afraid to get out of bed in the morning. Changed the way she dressed. Made her forget how to smile. Now she tenses up at every unexpected sound, and now I see her getting angry. Anger. She wants to get back some of her own. But I guess that's the step you just kind of skipped over, isn't it? Maybe you need to be kidnapped or raped to feel important to somebody.
Stop that! I am your mother! I have loved you since before you were born. When you look back on your life up until this point, the face that you will always see is mine, holding you, feeding you, singing you to sleep. You will never be connected to another human being in the same way, and nor will I. But you don't own me. You didn't create me. I had a life before you and separate from you. And there are things about me that are private, that you will never and should never know, and that I don't have to explain. All right, I will volunteer this much. Your father loved me. Always! And circumstances collided that night in a way that they never had before and they never had since. And your father and I rose above it. And we created a life together, a good life, in spite of it all. And that's the conclusion that you should be drawing, Lucky. Instead, you know, you're taking 1 hour out of a lifetime. And you're using it to create a monster that you say is me. And another one that you say is your father. My God, you know, it's as if you never even knew us at all.
I knew what you wanted me to. I thought what you wanted me to. About you. About Dad. You know, there were a couple times when you had me in schools, and it gave me a chance to see what other kids, you know, normal kids, what they were like. You know what's the biggest thing they worry about? Whether their parents were lying, they were adopted. Never occurred to me. But that's how it feels right now. that you lied to me my whole life about who my parents were.